Yo.
Hey.
What up, dude?
Welcome to the new meta, episode 10.
10. In the double digits
10.
now.
I know. I'm the ThaPChild.
Lord Fluffy. What up?
10 episodes, man. That's
10,
a long time.
Double digits.
That's a milestone. Let's celebrate. We're going out tonight.
Yep.
Party.
You driving here, or am I going there? I'm
we
not
can
going to
halfway.
St. Louis. I'm not going there.
What do I have? Oh, man.
Wow. Look at the support. Man.
Listen. So you've been blowing up lately, and I'm like, I got to get on this fluffy bandwagon, so I got a poster. It's in your merch store, full-size poster.
Merch.
On canvas. Hung it up behind me,
Is that real silk?
It is definitely silk.
Wow.
Yeah. Silk screen printed.
That's
it's expensive. That's the good stuff.
Damn.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, dude.
The good stuff. So what have you been up to?
Grinding my face off.
Grinding?
Yeah.
I see that, man. Your Paragon is reflecting it this season.
We're rank 8. We're like 1,500 something Paragon.
1,500 in less than a month. That's kind of crazy, man. That is.
As far as
some work,
leaderboards go, like everyone above me has more than double my time.
Yeah.
And
that's
everyone
crazy.
below me really too.
I want to get into that.
Sure.
I have some interesting data that I want to share, but I agree. I don't know. I wish I kind of would have kept track last season where I'm at, because I think I'm slightly behind where I was last season. I don't know, but I think I'm 1,200-ish right now.
Okay.
It's hard to say.
It's probably,
but I'm just doing the same old grind.
I don't know. I feel like you're on pace to be well above
1,800 is my usual what I get every season. I'm around 1,800.
We're only three and a half weeks in. Really?
Yeah.
So you're gonna be high.
I have done more rats this season than in the past.
Yeah.
I try to do at least one team every night just to get just a little bit of experience. Where in the past I did a lot of just viewer runs. But man, the grind's feeling good. My drops have been crap all week. I have got nothing. No, I don't think I've gotten any upgrades all week.
This statistically for me has been the luckiest season I've ever had.
Really?
I'm rocking like 2 primals on my push set, like 4 primals on my speed farm.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't even have 4 primals on one of my builds on non-season.
That's crazy. Yeah, I have 1 primal on my Crusader. It's a Leorc's Crown, and it's almost a perfect roll. Not quite. It's got life % instead of Vit on it, which is, I don't know. But that's it, man. No primals on any other character that are usable. So don't even have full Ancients on my Crusader yet, or my Necro. So it's feeling rough, man. The love's gonna come. It's gonna hit me at the end of the season. They're just saving it. They're saving it for me.
Sure.
So I wanted to talk real quick to everybody that's gonna see this probably in a week, because YouTube has been delaying our podcast videos. We're uploading them in a timely fashion, but they're getting flagged for some reason, and they have to be reviewed, and it's taking them almost a week to review them.
Yeah.
So that's why there's a delay, guys. It's not us. It's YouTube.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do about it.
It sucks. And it sucks about the last one. The last one's even worse because I churned it out and I encoded it as fast as I could so I could upload it. And uploading itself, because it's an hour-long, high-quality video, those uploads take like 5 hours, guys. But so I uploaded it. It got flagged, of course. I don't know why. For some reason, all these videos are getting flagged as inappropriate. I assume because like a lot of the lingo that we used, is like blood and death.
Yeah,
and,
probably
stuff like
so.
that.
Yeah.
But so I reviewed it. It got approved. It's like, yeah, you're good. And I published it, and then I realized I hadn't cut out the first 10 minutes. Like, so the intro screen was going. So I was like, fuck. And so then I had to re-edit it,
do it again,
re-upload it. So this one didn't even hit till like Sunday.
Yeah, that's the same. And with the holiday weekend or week and all that kind of stuff too, it just kind of put a damper on things. But if they will eventually hit Lord Fluffy's YouTube, they will be live there. So if they're delayed, it's not us, I promise. It's YouTube.
Yeah.
So
nothing we can do about it, unfortunately.
Kind of like Yeah, kind of like Blizzard getting DDoSed.
Well, yeah, dude. I couldn't believe that.
DDoS. Today's Tuesday. When did that start? Was it Sunday night or was it last night?
No,
Sunday night, yeah. So we're playing. I'm grinding some rats.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, I start lagging out. And I look over. I'm like, oh, am I getting DC'd? You know, is it my internet?
Yep.
And it's not. It was Blizzard, man. They went down.
Twice.
Twice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And some people couldn't even get back in.
No.
I heard the WoWs. I mean, it was everything. It was, World of Warcraft went down. Destiny went down. Destiny's not even a Blizzard game. It went down.
But they host it. So yeah.
They host the launcher, at least for sure.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So
that was crazy.
If you're playing a hardcore character,
yeah,
and I died when it hit, like it lagged me out for a couple seconds, and then like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and then all of a sudden it kind of caught up for a second and just killed me, and then it kicked me off. So if you're on a hardcore character, and you died to that, man, the pain. That would suck. That would be ridiculous. Do you think Blizzard should refund a character in that circumstance?
I mean, that'd be such a big undertaking. Like to say that would they roll back the last hour and then you just lose your XP and stuff?
I would. Would you prefer that to losing the character? I would be like, hell yeah, please do.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I feel like if you're playing hardcore, you're already signing up. I think, Quinn even said most of his deaths are not from I just misplayed. A lot of them's from internet spiked, servers lagged, stuff like that. He even went to BlizzCon and his computer caught on fire. Now, I think that's the only time in history that someone's been refunded a character. But that does suck. And I definitely said in my stream, after the first crash, I'm like, guys, if you're playing hardcore, man, get off tonight. Don't even keep going. Or just run
it hit so fast too, because we were just sitting there smashing the rift, and all of a sudden it was boom, done. Man, I don't know. I don't play hardcore, so to me it would be I would be very upset to lose it to something that was malicious, like somebody just wanted to be a jerk. Yeah. And it cost me my character, hundreds of hours on a character. To me, I think it'd be cool. I don't know.
It's so dumb, to DDoS Blizzard. It's just there's so many better targets out there, internet.
What's the point? Is my question. What are these guys trying to get from it? What could they possibly achieve by DDoS and Blizzard? Are they mad because they didn't get a drop in WoW, or what could have possibly happened?
Maybe
to make them want to
maybe if they'd gone on as what are those guys called on YouTube? I forget it, but if they had gotten on Reddit and yo, we're gonna DDoS Blizz until these bots are fixed, then I'm okay, I'm with you. But it was just a random fucking attack, dude.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I would be very curious to see the scope of the people doing it. Is it one geeky teenager in his room that's some super cyber geek, or is it a group of 20, 30 people?
They'd have to be a little bit more distinguished to take down Blizzard. I would think
there's some really smart kids out there, though. You never know. True. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I would love to see them get caught and then get to read the story on why they did it.
What surprised me was it kind of took Blizzard a minute to officially respond and say, hey, we're having issues, we're being DDoSed. So
yeah, I'm surprised they admitted to it the first place.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they want to explain what's going on, but at the same time, it kind of gives legitimacy to the DDoS. It's kind of like saying this is happening, and so other people are going to be like, ooh, I want to do it too. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, that's crap. It's crappy.
Yeah, it does.
So I feel sorry. So if you guys lost a hardcore character to that DDoS, rest in peace, man. I feel your pain. I'm with you.
You will be missed.
Yeah. You'll be missed.
But speaking of, DDoS last week and stuff, we wanted to get into, we presented the idea. What would you guys think about, we kind of talked about removing pylons, or pylons adding to the fish of the leaderboard pushing. And a couple of people responded with stuff I thought was at least interesting enough to mention. I'm going to get your thoughts on it as well. So one player said about the fishing, first idea, how about the first tile set of GRs fixed for each specific GR level, like 110 is graveyard, 111 is desert. If you have at least one of those map tiles fixed, sure, that definitely reduces fishing.
Yeah, so you're saying, so if you do a 110, at least one tile in that 110 would be a graveyard.
I would think the first floor would have to be graveyard. Yeah.
The first floor.
Okay. No matter what.
Yeah. That would make milestone, that would make some rift levels, I think, milestone rift levels easier to hit.
He's like, ooh, you know, 105, that's cave.
110's graveyard and 115's graveyard, then you're going to go from 110 to 115.
Sure.
You're just going to jump up. But yeah, I mean, anything that takes out the fishing, I think for at least ladder pushing would be cool.
Yeah. His second idea was get the technology behind weekly challenge rifts so that once someone clears a rift, it becomes the rift for this level. So this way the leaderboard can be fair, which is actually kind of an interesting idea. So what he's saying is like, so say I clear 111, I'm the first guy that did it. And then everyone that tries to hit a 111 or tries to beat 111 after me plays my rift.
That's cool. Yeah.
That'd be pretty interesting.
That would be interesting. So for the whole season?
Yep.
Or the week?
For the whole season.
That would be interesting.
It would be an interesting idea. I like.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah,
because somebody did it, But would it be class specific too? I think you need to make that kind of class specific.
Oh yeah,
too.
for sure. I mean, it's per leaderboard, right? So it's like
yeah. I like that. I kind of like that idea.
Yeah,
for sure.
I liked it too.
And then it would lock in the pylons and everything else that person got.
Absolutely everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Another one is I had an idea about pushing leaderboards in seasonal. Blah, 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 blah. Let me see if I get to the point here. Oh, he's basically saying, what if there was, and we've talked about this before, how challenge rifts kind of should have been.
Yeah.
And this guy's saying, okay, so boom, you're in like this special town, kind of like the current challenge rift where you're like, you got the altar thing there and the guy or whatever. And he's saying like you get, the Paragon of that person. You keep your gear and stuff. But you get, player X rank 1 Paragon, and you try to push the leaderboards as well.
Yeah, so that kind of leads me to an idea that I was kicking around a little bit, where separate leaderboard and make it like its own entire game mode, where you have predetermined things. That I guess it just takes challenge rift to a higher level, where as you push every rift 110, 111, 112, you're predetermined what Paragon you get and potentially even what equipment, but it could be a whole separate game mode in itself. Like, I don't know how really to describe the game mode title, but say it could just be push rifts or something, and every 110 for Crusader, you get the same Paragon and potentially the same equipment. I don't know. Equipment's up for debate, but yeah, I like ideas.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, and we talked about it in a previous podcast, but like what you're saying kind of is basically like a challenge rift, but for pushing.
Right.
So like just have a couple different modes inside of challenge rift. Like I think one of the modes, and they should keep pumping them out. If they want to keep the challenge rift how it is now, where it's just kind of like this jokey, play someone's build, try to beat it, get bounty mats. I think they should just, if they keep it as it is, just do it every day. Why not?
Yeah.
Like don't do it every week. Like no one cares.
I would think they could get it automated to where a person never even has to touch it. Yeah. Like every day their bot goes out and grabs a random riff run that somebody did.
Exactly.
And here you go.
Yeah.
I would be down for that every single day.
So I would like, if they broke it down to like, so boom, that's your like daily quest almost. And then a second challenge riff, we talked about this before, so I'll just be quick, but another one where you test someone's legitimate build, like someone's actual Diablo fans build, and you get to play, great gear. You get to try out that build without farming it yourself. That would be fantastic. And then the third type, which would be, hey, this guy's rank 2 on the leaderboard. Let me try to beat his clear with his stuff, his map,
his gear.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think
I like that.
Yeah.
Really, I think that would be cool. Like if you're the fastest time, maybe.
Yep.
Or you could even take that first idea to another level and say the person with the fastest time on that is the rift that everybody else gets. with his gear or his Paragon. That might change pushing to another level. That again, that's more directing it towards a challenge rift style. But that also kind of leads me to something like we've talked about this a little bit, but do you think the challenge rifts are too easy? I would like to see them harder.
Yeah, I think with the exception of that 1 week
there's
that
like one
Dijo's build like made it through.
Yeah.
I think everyone has been a total. I don't think I've ever not first tried a challenge rift, and
that was the only week that I didn't first try. The North America one was almost hard that week too. It took me 3 tries, I think, to get that one.
There's
I missed
been
it by
a lot of weeks
second
I
too.
skipped though, because like it's just
They haven't been hard. I do them every week. I make the guides, and most of them are easy. But that being said, I don't know. I think our amount of time in the game and our understanding of the game makes it easier. Sure. Because the challenge rift guides I put out, I get tons of comments that are like, "Thanks, I couldn't beat it. I tried 20 times, and your guide helped me out." And with me, it's like I can walk in and just not even really look at the build. I just look at the skills they're using, and I kind of already know where it's going. And then you just blow it up.
But they still catch you off guard sometimes. Some of those builds, you're like, "Where are they?"
Some of those builds,
what are they doing damage with?
What are they doing? Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I would like to see them. I would like to see there be better rewards for sure.
I think that's what it boils down to, is rewards. And
the rewards are a joke right
even
now.
If they had the 3, like what we just talked about, even if they had the 3 different game modes, like what would possess someone, besides sheer competitive nature, what would possess someone like with the urge to like try to beat someone's top clear? Like there'd have to be rewards.
It's all about rewards. Like I don't care. The only reason that I do the challenge rift is just to get that bounty cash. I mean, it's like a 4-minute run and I got T13 bounty mats. So it's got to be something bigger than that, though.
So I think with that, if they made it like a daily thing, how it works now, like that's reward enough for that. I think the reward for playing someone's actual build is that you get to try someone's actual build and you don't have to farm the gear for it. I think that would be probably reward enough. But for like, challenging someone's push, like that would have to be something special, I think.
Something good.
Because fishing plus pushing, not going to be fun for a lot of people. But that also gives people a taste, like maybe people that don't push and they want to know, like, what's it like to, like, push a 110 plus? Like, what is that even like?
Yeah.
It would give them
and if you're getting that challenge, like let's say, you did a 113 or a 114 this season as your pesty necro, your cold lance. What does that feel like? And then they're going to step into the rift that you completed and they might get their butts just kicked, and say, oh my gosh, this guy really knows what he's doing, or they might come in and do a really good job and say, "Oh,
do
that's
better."
Easy.
Yeah,
this
it's like,
good.
Wow, you totally misplayed this pylon. I can just imagine the trolls.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
Like, Fluff, I beat your build, dude.
Yeah, you're like, hey, you did really good. I beat your time by 40 seconds. You would get so many of those every day.
But that'd be cool.
So that goes into another topic. We're talking about builds and we're talking about playing people's builds.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that build ownership? You want to go there?
Sure. So it's just kind of an interesting thing that happened this week. I got hosted by Quinn, Big Daddy Quinn, grandpapa of Diablo. And his fiance or someone was like, hey, who's this guy, Lord Fluffy? You've hosted him a couple of times now. And he's like, oh yeah, Lord Fluffy's like one of the Diablo streamers. And I guess he turned it on. And at that particular moment, I was like, someone asked me in chat, like, hey, did you see Quinn's Inarius build that he was playing on stream? And so I looked at the leaderboard position he's in with his necro. And I saw it was like poison sized push build. So immediately, I'm talking to my community. Everyone's, in my stream. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's like my poison sized push build that we made back on season 11 PTR. But I guess that to Quinn kind of triggered him because like, a lot of, and you get that too probably a lot. Yeah. Is like there's this big kind of like I own this build mentality that's flying around YouTube, flying around Diablo fans, flying around the forums, and I guess it kind of triggered that for him. And so like I felt kind of bad because he just dropped these 2 juicy hosts on me, but yeah, I mean he's right, and at the same time I disagree. So there's I think it's a really weird line to walk because I don't think, and I wasn't trying to say when he came in and I saw that he was playing Poison Scythe, I wasn't trying to say with it, yeah, he's playing my build. Like, that's not what I was saying. I was like, oh, that's like my Poison Scythe build that I made in season 11 PTR. I wasn't saying his build was totally different. It was meant for hardcore, but it was just, that's what I immediately went to.
Yeah. Right.
So I think that there's a line. So one way is, so like anytime, because I've been convicted of like, oh, you stole builds or whatever in the past. And it's a fine line, because I think there is something, and I usually, like, if I'm making a brand new build and I have not seen anyone make a guide on it, I'll actually go as far as to like search it out on Diablo Fans. And there's been one particular case with Blightspear that someone had come to kind of the same thing, but just to like be completely like, I'm covering all my ground here. I private message him on defense. It's like, hey, I came up with this. Here's my link. It's a lot like yours, but I just want to make sure, like, we're cool.
Yeah,
I'm going to post. I'm going to make a guide. This is what I'm going to do.
That's further than I've gone in the past. Like, when I make a build, usually what I do is I start with what I want. What is my end result? What do I want to play?
Yeah.
And then like for example, I have a build, my Crack Crusader build is what I call it, and it's a T13 Crusader build that doesn't use Pony. And that was my end game. My end game was, I want a build that's fast in T13s that doesn't use Pony, because I don't like it. I don't want to use it. And I started building things, and I just did it myself, and I threw all the stuff together.
Sure.
But I didn't check to see if anybody else had the exact same build, because I did it on stream for the most part in front of people that saw me build it. And I threw stuff together, and I'm like, this, I played it last season a little, and I'm like, I want to tweak this or tweak that, until I got it to where I'm like, I don't think I can tweak this anymore. Sure. I'm going to make a video on it now. But that being said, there's only so many slices of pizza, man. You can only throw things together so much. Yeah. And so a good example I have of that is, I came up with a Singularity Mage T13 build. Sure. You have a Singularity Mage build too. Yeah. I've seen yours, and I made up mine, not really looking at yours, but when I looked at yours, we have similarities.
Sure.
There's obviously some differences too. So I still call it my T13 build because I run it. That's why it's mine. Sure. But if somebody else makes the same build and they call it theirs, if they blatantly just copied mine and called it theirs, I might be a little upset. But if they came to the same conclusion, like they tried different pieces themselves and experimented and like, oh, I like this too.
Sure.
I'm not going to get that upset over it, because there's only so many ways to slice it,
Now, yeah. And so, when I say like I searched them out on Diablo Fans, like I'm literally just trying to like not step on any toes. I don't think that I should have to do that, because it is very clear, like you said, like every build we come up with, it's on stream. We're developing it like real time. We put a ton of hours on any PTR, like coming up with these builds and whatever. But again, I've only been convicted of stealing a build like twice, and once was with Volcano Barb, which is like a lawn version of Barbarian. It's this joke T13 build. I love it, but like someone's like, oh, you stole that. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then the same thing happened with Lawn. It's Lich King Necro. It's not the most powerful Necro build, but it's really fast speed wise, like actually movement wise. And someone's like, oh my god, you stole this build from what's his face. And the thing that bothers me is when like people are like, oh, you stole this build, and then you're like, okay, shit, let me go look at this guy's build, and there's like 4 different things. Like 2 passes are different, a piece of gear is different, gems are different, or something. Like to me that's not the same thing.
Same build.
But when it's like pound for pound, the exact same build. So it's like, so let's say Blightspear, like say someone else comes out with a Blightspear guide, and actually has happened. Where do we draw the line? Like where?
Right. If they look at, I think if you look at somebody's build on Diablo Fans, on the stream, on YouTube, wherever it is, and you see their build, and you make the exact same build to the T, and you maybe switch one piece because you want it to be different, like, oh no, it's not the same. I don't use Bane of the Trapped, I use Zays, or something. It's like, come on, man. I would take a little, I'd have a problem with it. But that being said, I'm sure it happens a lot.
Sure.
You know, I can think of other people that I know have done that.
Sure.
So it's hard to. I don't know.
It's so that's like I get both sides. I get both sides. And Quinn was like saying on the stream when he was talking about it, he's like, you know, the first person that puts on Sun Wuku was like, from that point on, it's like, you're using my build. Like, yeah. And he said it gets to that point where it's everyone's like, you know, they're being like uptight about builds and stuff like that. And I totally get that. And I think that's toxic to the communities.
I think
if someone's like,
hey, check out my guide. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. If you're like I credit you with Blightspear. I don't know the exact origin of it, but I know the first time I saw it was from you. You know what I mean? So when I see somebody play it, if somebody asks me a question about Blightspear in my stream, I've played it a little bit, not a whole lot, because I don't usually do solo, and I don't, you know, there's other things that I'm going to play if I'm going to do group play. So I'm like, I don't know. You should probably ask Fluff or resort to his guides, because this guy is the Blightspear expert. He plays it every single day, you know. So I contribute that to you, whether or not, if somebody else took a build of mine and they played it a lot and they kind of owned it and took over it, it is what it is. You're going to get credit for it regardless if you made it or not, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'll just bring up like an exact case, and you tell me if you think I crossed the line.
Okay.
So one time, Riker, he posted a video of, he didn't really make the Blightspear. Like, he posted a video on RGK Necro, and at the end, like in this like 1 minute, 2 minute window, he's like, hey, and you can actually make this a speed farm build if you play it like this. And then he said a few things along the way that were just wrong. Like, just that's not how that works at all. And so I saw the video. I was like, okay, cool. This is a lot like Blightspear. And I typed in the comments. It's like, okay, this is like Blightspear. Actually, that's not how this item works. So like, you're wrong about that. But you know, it's a lot to try to cram into 2 minutes. So like, you did your best. And immediately his community is like, you're being such a dick. Like, if you had a problem, like if you think there's something different, like you should have private messaged him and told him that he had his build wrong. I'm just like, if I private message Riker and tell him, hey, this is what you got wrong, who benefits from that? Riker. Right. No one else. So it's like, I'm not trying to call him out. I was just like, you know, one of the things was like,
everything's a fine line. And the reason is, as content creators, whether it's YouTube or Twitch, is like I'll use us as an example.
Sure.
Like, we have a great relationship.
Sure.
We're friends. I can kind of talk trash on you. You could talk trash on me. We know we're joking. It's funny, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, this is not a team sport. We're in the game of watch me, watch my content, support me. If you and I do this podcast and then everybody goes to your stream and watches you, I don't, you know, I'm just like, what's up, guys? Sure. You know, I'm alone. But I think that the mentality that we have, at least in our relationship, is different, because we're like, we kind of realize like, hey, if I support you and you support me, we both benefit.
Sure.
You know, and it's fun to have a friend that does the same thing, you know. But some of these guys, I think it's a competition. You know, it's like, I want to produce the best content and I want people to watch me. So it's such a fine line of another content creator criticizing their work. And even if it's just or unjust, and I'm sure myself, even I fall under that, you know, where it's like, you take criticism, it's hard to take criticism, you know, or be called out on things. But I don't think I don't think you're wrong with that, especially if it's misleading.
Sure.
But it's hard to say, man. Yeah. If you have a friendship relationship with somebody, like if you saw me make a Necro push build, which I have, and you're like, hey, man, you're wrong on that. Like, it's different if you tell me versus if somebody else tells me, because we have a relationship where I'm like, okay, I know he's trying to help me, not trying to be like, hey, you're wrong. Come watch my videos because I'm better than him, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's how it got construed. Like, I'm trying to call Riker out for like not knowing the game in front of everybody, instead of like, hey, I'm actually just trying to help people playing this build
that like, watch the game,
right?
Yeah,
and he's got this, you know, he's got this huge reach, and to like tell that many people like incorrect information is like it gives me anxiety. So I was just like, I was really just like trying to get on there. And
yeah, it's such a touchy situation no matter what. But again, it goes back to the build ownership, and this is a subject that I have a problem with. Because all the time, especially on YouTube, I see people not crediting things that they see. And it's like you'll see people take Reddit posts or we'll keep it to Diablo related, even though it spreads across everything. Yeah. But they'll see a post on Reddit and they won't even credit. They'll say somebody on Reddit said this. And it's like, well, you're talking about his idea now and using it to your advantage, and you didn't even shout out the guy's name. Like you can't give him 5 seconds to say, Reddit user John Smith said such and such. And I try to at least do that if, like on the podcast, at least in things I say, Reddit user so-and-so.
Right.
I try to. But I think that goes back to it. If you're going to talk about things and you got it from a source that's easily creditable, then do it, man. Give that person credit, It's not going to take away from your video.
No.
But I see it all the time, and I see it on other games and other videos that I like to watch where I'll see a little guy come up with a trick or a glitch or a best way to do something that's maybe got 1,000 viewers, and then I'll see like one of these behemoth 1.5 million YouTube subscribers take the dude's content and make the same video and not even credit him, and it's like, dude, that feels bad, for that guy.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I mean, I get both points, and I don't think there is such a thing really as intellectual property within a a video game. Like,
right, Blizzard owns it all anyways. They made the builds.
Yeah, I'm not trying.
Do you think when they designed the game, do you think that they thought about Blightspear when they were making it?
We talked about this before, and you feel like rat runs were intelligent design, and they are not. They are freaking not.
Oh, dude, there's no way, man. You're telling me the most popular build in the meta in the game uses three of the brand new character class expansion?
Yep.
And you don't think that was intentional?
I absolutely do not. They have no idea how this game plays. None. It is the luckiest coincidence.
If that wasn't by design, let's just say that there was a Paragon farming meta that was more efficient than rats, and it did not include Necro, I promise you, tweaks and balance changes would have been made to make it include Necro. I promise. I promise. There's no way.
Maybe. Yeah, you're probably right. But to think that they designed a rat run is just like, no way. There's no way.
I think they did, man.
No way.
And the fact that they didn't break it, even I think screams louder. Because it's
why so would they break it? Because it's like you said, as soon as they saw, wow, rat runs are awesome. It's 3
They're
necros,
like, sell
bling,
more
bling,
copies.
Yeah.
We're printing money.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that they didn't design a rat run. I'm not saying they couldn't have stopped it and all these other stuff. I'm just saying they had no idea that rat runs are going to be a thing.
I think that. So how many do you think the class set builds are the only ones that they've really? I mean, that's a Rothma build though. Like, how did they not think about that?
Like getting resource. People ask me that all the time because I'm always like, people are like, "Hey, Fluff, what's the most powerful solo build?" And I'm like, "Blightspear." And they're like, "Well, if Blightspear, the Pestilence build, is so powerful, like, why is it not Pestilence, like a group farm thing?" It's like, because you can't give other Necros corpses. If you could, if Land of Dead worked for all of your Necros, I promise you it would be a rift full of Blightspear Necros.
A Blightspear everywhere.
But that's not how it works. So that's why Rathma is the meta.
Because like an Akan's Crusader is intentionally designed that way. Like they put the Frighter Wrath Shield and the Blade of Prophecy in that set. They specifically designed that synergy, I think, to make that build.
Yeah.
And I think they specifically designed Cold Lance. I think that was an intentional design.
Yeah.
And so,
but we're not like that. Okay, but you look at Cold Lance. Like Cold Lance increases crit against a mob, whatever. Like that's a pretty generic rune. As far as Diablo is concerned, that's not groundbreaking or innovative. It's just it's like a default rune choice by Blizzard. It's just like cool.
But Reaper Wraps were in before Necro became a thing.
Yeah. And that's why I'm exactly saying it is not intelligent design. Okay, Rathma Necros and like Reaper's Wraps, like that synergy, yeah, they probably knew that was going to be a thing. Did they know that Z Necro was going to be a thing? I don't think so. There's no way.
I could see that. I could see them not thinking about Z Necro. So, yeah, it's interesting, man. I don't know. If they didn't intelligently design that was the biggest random gift that they ever got, because dude, rats have probably single-handedly sold more Necro expansions than anything. Like, people come into stream that still haven't seen rats. Like, I still have people come in and like, what's a rat? Like, still to this, like yesterday, it happened. And they come in and their mind is blown. They're like, oh my God, you guys are shitting on these 105s. How are you doing that? You know? Yeah. And they, like, if I'm playing a Z Necro, then they think that I'm doing the damage and I have to explain. I'm like, no, it's the Rathmas. This is, how it works. It's interesting. It's very interesting. So
it is.
All right, I want to talk numbers real quick because I pulled up some interesting data that kind of goes along with builds and what we're talking about. Yeah. So I used d3ladder.com, and I don't know how accurate its data is. Okay, so I'm throwing that out there. I don't know, but I'm going to take it for face value. On its data, it says that 54% of all of the top 100 of all classes combined, the top 100, 54% of those are Crusaders.
I am so not surprised.
35% of those top 100 are Necro, and 11% for all the other classes.
God damn.
That is staggering, and Crusader is so heavy in that, which we know why, but of the hardcore, Crusader is 69% of the top 100. So 69 of the top 100 Rift clears are Crusader.
Also not surprising.
That is, it's interesting to me. Like, I expected Necro and Crusader to be a little bit more balanced. I thought that they would. I knew they would dominate. But man, 11% for all the other classes. They're strangleholding the top 100 for sure.
Because, I mean, we wanted to go 1 week without talking about bots. But if you look at it's Crusaders botting 24/7. And they're like, well, I've got all this crazy Crusader gear. Might as well push the leaderboard because I'm a rat. And then when they actually play, they're running rat runs. So, like, well, I've got all this crazy Necro gear. Might as well push because I'm a rat.
Exactly.
That's the meta right
That's
now.
why. So that goes to this next point. The next interesting data that I got. The top Paragon in season 14 already. These numbers are a couple days
3K.
ago.
3K. Is it 3K already?
3,500.
Oh my God.
And that was North America.
Fuck.
Worldwide, it's 3636. In season 14, in less than a month, 35 and 3600 Paragon.
Like, that's a lot of buying, but that's also a ton of rats. Like,
that is
wow.
Crazy Paragon. I didn't look at hours or any of that. I'm sure it's 100% uptime, but that's crazy. And then non-season, what do you think the highest non-season is?
Legit? I mean, or
no, I don't know. I'm sure it's not legit. I'm sure it's not legit.
I mean, we had people comment on my YouTube that was like 7K, 7.5K,
8.18.
What in the actual
8,188. Yeah.
Can you imagine? I would love to test that Paragon, dude.
Yeah, you could pretty much just put on a white sword and then do T13.
Got 100 GR100 down, guys.
I mean, yeah. Wow. That would be absolutely ridiculous. I can't even imagine what your sheet damage would look like with that much nuts. Primary stat.
I've had people message me like say, oh, wow, I've got Paragon 4K. I can speed rip like 106s on Blightspear in 3 minutes. If that's 4K.
That's crazy. I mean, you would double that. Wow. I don't even know. So I'm a stats person. I always find stats interesting. And to me, it was funny that 11%, that Necro and Crusader dominated 89% of the leaderboard of the top 100.
That actually brings me into like a couple more suggestions people had, because people had suggestions for the phishing, the question that we posted. We got a lot of comments on the botting. And the two I found the most interesting, and we'll just go over them quick. One guy said, what if you could limit each seasonal character 12 hours a day? And Paragon is not shared.
Paragon not being shared, maybe. I mean, that punishes the non-botters, though.
Yeah, I agree.
And you can't limit time. You can't limit time.
It's not technically limiting time. It's like you can share keys, you can share resource, but you just don't share Paragon.
Yeah, but the 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
I don't like that hard cap.
Sure.
Because I've had more than 12-hour days. I mean, when season started, we went.
And then this one I really, really like. And this kind of goes back to our constant conversation about leaderboard filters. But this guy's basically saying, like, okay, what if you could basically filter out people? It's like when you run a marathon. It's like you rank 35 overall, but of your age group. Yeah. This is how you're third.
Paragon bracket.
Right.
Leaderboard.
So they're saying, like, if you could filter, if we had more filters, like we always talk about, if you had an hours played filter, how do you rank amongst like those players? And I think that would be invaluable to this game.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. That would be cool. And then this just kind of, somebody just said something in chat, and I didn't get to read the whole comment, but it sparked the thought in my head. What if they scaled Paragon more? Like what if, let's say 1 to 1,000 was the same, but let's say 1,000 to 1,500, it just instantly just multiplicatively started going up to where if, let's say, you and I legitimately get 1,800 in a season, somebody that botted and cheated the whole season only got 2,000. You know what I mean? What if they just shrunk that gap a little bit to where these guys aren't 1,000, 2,000 Paragon above hard, semi, regular players? I don't know. I mean, they could shrink the gap. It all goes back to punishing people who play legit.
Right. Like Paragon.
And it always feels bad. Any solution I ever read is like, yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
But it feels bad.
Band-Aid for you're bleeding out.
I do like the filter thing though. That would say, okay, where do I rank on Crusader in people under 2,000 Paragon?
Yeah.
And I think that would be really cool.
My hours played is 310 hours. Like, how am I doing against like people that can put in the time?
People under 350. How do I compare?
Yeah, I think that'd be really interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. And then back, you could also.
Yeah, if you guys haven't followed like all the episodes, like a filter on the leaderboards, like this would be amazing. Hours played, class, whatever. But if you could do like spec leaderboards, all the things we've talked about, like if you add all these filter functionalities to the leaderboard, it's gonna be so juicy. If they would just a column for like what set are you wearing, stuff like that. Blizzard, please. I'm trying to I haven't got any really good upgrades on my Crusader this season, but I haven't pushed since like the first weekend of the season. And so this weekend I'm like, I'm gonna push a little bit this upcoming weekend. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, let me see what I got to do to get top 100, And I start looking at the top 100, and like I'm looking at people, and it's like, well, clearly a botter, clearly a botter, clearly a botter. And it's like I found one guy that was like, oh, he's probably legit. But then the other group of people that I looked at, they all had 400 hours in the season, which is like ridiculous uptime. Yeah. It's a lot. I looked at my hours, and I play a lot. My hours were at like around 140, 150. And I'm like, okay. So I didn't actually check, but I'm like, if I were to look at somebody, Quinn's a full-time streamer. Yeah. He streams as much as any normal person could probably stream. So I was going to take him and then add 50 hours onto him to just be like, maybe they're a little more hardcore. And that was my baseline. I never got to look it up, but I think Quinn's
wasn't anywhere in the 400.
60 something right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So
yeah, the people at 500.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yes.
Go on.
You're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we're talking about filter features. I mean, that also goes back into the Armory. Like, why doesn't the Armory save your Paragon points.
Yeah, it should.
Or like, Paragon
Armory,
points, follower stuff.
To scale it back a
potions.
bit, Armory was an amazing addition. Amazing addition to the game. Thank you so much. You finally you listen.
Like more.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing.
5 isn't enough.
10 would be ideal.
10, yes.
Microtransactions to buy more. Why not?
Revenue. Seasonal rewards to the stash page. Give us more Armory pages.
Yeah, that'd be great.
An idea. That would be amazing.
Also, like we said, save Paragons, because not all of us run macros and switch Paragons in a Rift. 2, it's save followers, shizzle. Like, don't make me swap out my follower stuff, because you have to on a necro because of the CC immune crap.
Yep.
And I always forget that. Like, I jump into my first Rift and it's like, ooh, this is a good tile set. Crap! My Templar's like wearing all his CC gear.
Why do you put the CC gear on in the first place? For Blightspear?
Yeah, just for like speed rifting, and the Templar, heals you and shit. And
I don't even change them. I'm just like, I just leave them with the necro push stuff. I'm like,
probably should, but I don't. And then last, potion. It's not saved in there at all.
Yeah.
And actually, like, you can kick off your potion.
Do you have favorite potions that you like? I'm so indecisive on my potion.
For necro, there's really only one clear winner. You can make an argument for the one that gives you like more healing. But honestly, life per hit is insane on the necro.
Yeah, that's what I use is life per hit.
Yeah. Everyone's always like, which one should I use? It's life per hit, guys. On a necro, I don't know about all the other classes. What's the best? But on a necro, god damn, life per hit.
Yep. Yeah, there would be some nice things that they could add and do. I mean, just little changes. Like, I think that for public games, for example, if you try to get into a public game, I think there's too many choices. Like, there shouldn't be 17 difficulty levels.
Yeah.
Do you realize, like, when you think about it like that, do you realize we have 17 difficulty levels in the game? Do we need 17? Like, normal?
Do we really need normal mode anymore? Like, because even when you're leveling, no one really.
If you're a brand new character, you still need normal. You know, or a brand new player. You need the easy for the people that, are super cash. Normal, Torment 1, Torment 6, Torment 13. Like, you could get by with 4, maybe 5.
I think you could do like
tops.
T11 to T13, T6, T1.
Because if you queue up a game, you still you can't even find anybody at T6 now. Like, at this point in the season, if you're not doing 13s, like, you're on an island by yourself. Like, have fun.
That's so crazy to think about, because like I have a really hard time stepping back sometimes and being like, whoa, like the general population. I mean, there's probably still a lot of people this far in the season, 3.5 weeks, they're not T13 ready, and it's crazy to think about, because like we've been doing this since the dawn of time, but. There's probably like most players. I wouldn't even know. Like, it's probably a ton of players. There's still.
I would love to get my hands on the metrics for this game. Yeah, like, I would love to get numbers. I want to know how many people play. Yeah. What percentage of torments are they in?
On average,
what's the average hour?
Yeah, how many hours? People
how much do they play a day?
And how much of that though would get diluted by botters though? They're 24 hours.
You think you could probably filter those out if we had the data, don't you?
Yeah, true.
I mean, you're like, let's take out the top 1%, and that's probably going to be all your 400-hour outliers. Because I'm curious. I play about 4 hours a day, and then a little more on the weekends. I'm curious to see what percentile that is. Like, is that upper echelon 1%, or is that your normal casual?
That's a good question.
I wouldn't say casual, but and then there's people that stream 8 hours a day or more.
Sure.
What percent are they in?
And there's people that probably don't stream and are trust fund babies and play.
Yeah, just played
hours. Yeah.
22.5 hours a day.
Sure.
That's what they say.
Possible.
So, like, we can't go an episode without talking about bots. It's impossible. I wanted to, but I can't, man.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And here's why. Like, we had this conversation. I've never had anybody own up to it. If I look at somebody and I see that they're playing 22.5 hours a day, there's always I don't have a job right now and I get to play all the time. There's always some kind of reason, something where they can play.
Sure.
I've never had anybody just be like, yeah, I bought, fuck it.
I've had that for sure.
You've had somebody say that?
I've never had I'll joke like, oh, cool, man. What's your BattleNet?
Yeah. And then they go silent.
Right.
I've never had anybody do that to me. I've never had them own up to it. Does it make, like, I kind of said, like, there are people that I like that I suspect, but they have good excuses, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and call you guilty until you confess. If you're telling me this is what it is, I'll take you for your word until I have other proof. But I like them as people. Like, would you respect somebody a little bit more if they told you, like, if they just own it? Like, yeah, man, I bought.
No. Because it's like we told you, like, my brother, my real life brother, he's a fucking rat. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Fucking hate it. Because it's just toxic. It's toxic to the game. Doesn't matter. Like, he's not pushing the leaderboards, whatever. I don't care. Don't do it. Just stop. So
did we talk about this before? Where I had people come into my stream and tell me that you were a cheater because your brother cheated. And I'm like, that is the dumbest. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Airtight logic.
Serious? Are you serious right now?
People be like, "Oh yeah, blood is blood." You must be a cheater too. Like, wow,
like, cool, what are you talking about?
That makes no sense.
Yeah, but I don't know. To me, I think it's a little like, just if somebody owns it, I'm at least like, all right, at least you can own it. At least you're not sitting here lying and being like, yeah, I'm a trust fund baby. I don't have to, work or take a shower.
It sucks. It sucks. It just sucks.
My last thought on that. My last thought.
Okay.
I have people on my Twitter that I literally saw a post 2 days ago that was like, Blizzard, please do something about the bots. Like, random tweets now are like, this is insane. Like, people complaining about it. And I had never seen that in my life. I've never seen my Twitter friends complaining about bots. And I'm seeing that now. And I'm like, it's interesting. So
I think it's rampant right now, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like as a Diablo player, like, you reach a point, like, I hate bots. Like, everybody knows I hate bots. I'm very anti-bot in the stream, but like, I can't control what Blizzard's doing. So it's like, you either get to the mentality, you're like, fuck it, I'm joining them. I'm going to be a rat myself. Or you're just like, you know what? We can tell, like, you're not impressing anyone with your leaderboard spot. Like, it's stupid. Like, you're just a no-life loser. So it's just like, whatever. You get to the point where it's like, it is what it is, or it's like, it eats you alive.
I don't play Diablo 2. Is Diablo 2 full of bots too?
Yeah.
Is it?
Or at least it was.
So that kind of goes...
To branch into other games that bot real quick, because I know you don't play a lot of PoE. And let me ask you this.
I heard some stories about that.
Sure.
But maybe you're going to touch it now. Let's see.
So PoE, in my opinion, is incredibly pay to win. Now, is it officially pay to win? No. But is there a difference? So if you guys don't play PoE, and I know you don't, ThaPChild, but like, there are third-party sites, like, they're very organized. You just, like, you get on there and like, ooh, I want to buy 100 chaos orbs, and it's like, boom, add it to the cart. Someone messages you in game, like, makes the trade, bing, bang, boom. It's like prime pay to win. Is there really a difference between a game officially being pay to win? Like, so grinding your games was like, here, you can buy chaos orbs for $1 per, or a third-party site all over the internet selling in-game currency. Is there really a difference?
No, and that goes back to Diablo 3's auction house when it came out.
Sure.
So Diablo 2 had it third-party sites that sold loot.
Absolutely.
Right? So Diablo said that they put the auction house in to make it more secure and safe for the player. That was a cash grab. Let's be real.
Sure.
They saw the dollar signs. It was hella pay to win on a $60 title. PoE is a free game, so there's definitely a sour taste anytime it's pay to win. I think that's pay to win. And so I heard, the stories about them deleting the forum post of people who are trading currency for real dollars, like killing bosses and stuff.
That's cool.
So yeah, I mean, I've heard not good things about PoE's pay to win system.
Sure.
Whereas on the opposite side of the spectrum, I've heard really good things about Warframe's monetary system, that it's not pay to win.
Oh,
different
sure,
game.
sure.
I mean, different style game, but it's still that free to play model.
The thing that, like, and maybe some of you guys that play PoE can, like, enlighten me, but so PoE, their end game doesn't really exist. So it's like, it's pay to win, but, like, what's the pay to win? Like, so obviously if you get tons of great gear, you can, like, do end game content faster and stuff like that. But there's no, like, you're not competing against anyone unless you're, like, making YouTube videos like, hey, check out this lab clear that I did in, like, a minute. Like, there's no leaderboard. Like, there's no, what's the point? And maybe someone could
to get more powerful?
me. I know they do races all the time, and I don't know if you, like, so if a race is like, who's the first one to, like, max level? And they do, like, these race events where it's like, okay, starting on Friday, like, ending Monday or whatever. Like, who's going to be the highest? And that's interesting. That's cool. I think Diablo could learn from that. But, like, what's the point? Like,
I don't play the game enough to know about their end game. I mean, I don't know what their end game loop is, but that's, if you apply it to D3, what's D3's end game? To push a higher rip.
Yeah. But there's a
why?
system. Because it's competition.
I mean, leaderboard is it though. Yeah. So if you're not into leaderboards, then what's your end game in Diablo?
That's a very good argument. But
you know what I mean?
What, I don't know. What would keep you going in PoE? I just don't get. And I think that's why when people are like, oh, botting's such a problem in Diablo 3, botting's such a problem in Diablo 3, and I'm like, you play PoE and you don't think botting's a problem? It's solely, and GGG did a good job, props to you guys, but it's solely because there is no end game competition. Like, otherwise people would be, like, screaming about bots.
Yeah. If you're allowing people to farm and sell that thing on a website to another player in any facet, whether it's a direct trade or, hey, you pay me and I'll kill this for you and then you get loot, because that's how, like, that happens in WoW now. Like, you can pay people to carry you through raids and then they will give you all their loot in the raid. And it's a pay to win system.
Sure.
Is it really a problem? Like, I don't know. Like, the guy's going to suck anyways if he has to pay to get his gear, right? Sure. That's my thought process. Yeah. But if it became a problem where it's like everybody's doing this, pay to win microtransaction gear stuff, then I think it becomes an issue.
Sure. I think accessibility has a lot to do with it too. So it's like we're saying, so, like, there's these great third-party sites just like, hey, add chaos orbs to the cart, and, like, boom, someone message you. Like, where if you have to, like, maybe, like, find an eBay post and, like, hook up with this guy that's gonna, like, carry you. I don't think that's as near as rampant. Obviously, if that's your only way of cheating in WoW, then, like, that's what you go to. But
right. But people are always going to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, the thing I like, and even if, PoE is, like, super pay to win, I would like to see PoE, and God, I hope they're working on their next title, but I would love to see PoE, like, have in systems like WoW, and maybe you could speak more on this because I don't know shit about WoW, but it seems like in WoW, like, there's a lot you can do with gold. That's only going to take you so far. Like, you have to, like, actually be there and physically, like, earn your good shit. And I know, like, you can auction off, like, someone's spot in a raid or some shit, but, like, again, accessibility has a lot to do with it. So I'd love to see PoE do stuff like that.
It's just like Diablo in that sense. Like, gold only gets you so far in WoW. It doesn't get you the end game top tier stuff.
Right.
Gold in Diablo doesn't get you anything.
Nothing.
It's so, like, the best thing you can do with WoW with your gold is buy playtime, so you don't actually have to pay for it. That's really the biggest thing you can do with it now. I think all these games are going to follow that free to play model. So I think it's going to be, and I honestly think for the good of a lot of games is a lot of these games are going to go to no power creep with money. It's going to be cosmetic. And I think Fortnite set that standard. And Overwatch to an extent set the standard where pay us money, we'll give you skins and make you look really cool, but your power doesn't change. And that's okay to me. I'm okay with that.
Totally.
I think Fortnite's prices are absolutely ridiculous. $20 for a skin is mind-blowing to me.
Pay it now.
But, if Diablo 4 goes that same route where it's pay to skin,
I'm in, man.
On a $60 title, they better be cheap. But, that's okay. I'm okay with that, man. So...
Yeah, like if we see Diablo 4 and there's no shop, like I wouldn't have high hopes for the future.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
There's got to be any AAA title that comes out now is going to have microtransactions.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, can they please not make it powerful and give you a way to earn them in game if it costs money. If the game's free, it's okay for them to cost money and not be able to earn in game. But if the game costs $60, you better let me earn it. Even if it takes me a year, you better let me earn some of them for free.
Yeah.
Well, that's my process.
What would you prefer? So Fortnite does this thing where they like the kind of rotation stuff, maybe. So it's like, say a cosmetic appears and you really like that cosmetic. Like you really only have like 24 hours. Like, you got to buy it. Yeah. You got to buy it.
It's so much pressure to buy it right then because you're not going to see it again for a long time if you do.
Or would you rather see that, or would you rather see loot boxes?
Oh, I'd much rather see that. Than loot. I hate loot boxes. Yeah, I hate loot boxes. So here's the deal. Like my kids play Fortnite. They love it. Yeah. And I play a little bit. I'm not super stellar, but I play a little bit. One of the skins came up, and it was like, I forget the name of it, but my son freaked out because it's only been offered once ever, and it was like some Red Knight. I think it was the Red Knight skin or something. Boy. And he had to have it, begged me. I made him sweat. It was down to like 5 minutes left before it was going to go away.
Oh, damn.
And I'm like, what are you going to do for it? You want to do some dishes? You want to vacuum? And he was sweating hard, but I bought it for him. But man, it felt so bad paying $20 for a skin, like $20? To me, it was like $20, man.
Why doesn't he have any, what's it called? The currency. Why doesn't he have
the V-Bucks?
Yeah.
He does, but I mean, he's a kid. He spends it on whatever.
Better. God damn. Does he have the PvE mode or whatever? That's how you get.
No, just the battle. He could care less about PvE. He's a PvP player.
If he wants to farm the V-Bucks, he needs to get on the PvE train.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would hate to see a $60 title have things that expensive. I think that's a little over the top, but they can get away with it because they're the biggest game in the history of games ever. So
sure,
they can get away with it.
Yeah.
They can get away with it. What do you think about buffing the LON stuff?
Oh man, we might want to
Do you want to save that for next week?
We should probably save that. We should probably say that. But to propose a question, like we do, I would actually like to hear some of you guys to say they're not done developing on Diablo, which goddamn, let's hope. And next season, season 15, every class is getting a new set. What do we want to see those sets based around?
A skill?
I mean, it could. You guys can implement your own 2, 4, 6 piece. Do whatever you want. I think Necro, though, to touch on that, Necro is like the perfect example of so we're this far in the road of Diablo. Like, they know how to make a set now. Like, I don't think it's not that much. It's like 2 pieces, like maybe something cool, maybe something dumb. 4 piece give you defense, 6 piece give you a damage modifier. It's like, we're not we're not splitting atoms, right?
2 piece laugh at, 4 piece.
Yeah, 2 piece. Sometimes you get lucky, you get pestilence or something, but
6 piece
damage modifier.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Your idea, I hate to steal it, but man, I think an actual Death Knight-ish style class would be amazing. I don't know who that fits. I don't know if you could maybe make it onto a
put it on a set for a class.
Yeah,
it'd have to be
Crusader. I guess, but they're not really undead. I don't know, man. I want to see that so bad. Yeah. I think that's an amazing idea to just run through with some big ass mystical.
I mean, you could
fire
do
ice sword.
Necro, like if you maybe focus on
man, why not?
Blood Nova.
I mean, who cares at this point? Just give them a big ass weapon and let them have fun.
For sure.
Because they already have the passive when you don't have pets, you get extra armor. I forget the name of it.
But just off the top of your head,
stand alone or something.
what would you like to see a build like based around? Fresh build, skill wise. Like, what's your favorite skill
strafe.
that's not being utilized?
So Natalia's is incorporates strafe a little bit.
Yeah,
I
it's not
love
the
Demon
damage
Hunter
though,
strafe.
right.
It's my favorite ability in the game by far.
Doesn't it just feel like a slow whirlwind to you? Like,
But it's the whole screen, man. It gets everything. And if you get the right runes and you set, like, it's cool. I love it.
Sure.
I want to see strafe strafe for me. It's easy answer. I love that skill. Yeah. I want to see strafe decimate everything on the screen. Like Wave of Light does now. I want that to be strafe.
Damn.
High hopes.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you got?
I haven't really thought it through on Necro, but I've always thought on Crusader. And we're gonna have to pull up the skills because I don't remember the skill names off the top of my head. But I think it would be such a great set, like some heavenly set, right, for Crusader. If they designed it around Heaven's Fury, like the normal runes, like the runes that just like bring like the beam of light from the sky.
Okay.
And they incorporated that skill that never gets used. It's like a lightning bolt. God, what's it called? I can't find any Crusaders right now. Okay, here we go. Fist of Heavens. They had like Fist of Heavens is like your damage healer. You know, Heaven's Fury was also like part of that. Maybe it was like your mitigation buff, or it does a ton of damage too. And then I know it's already being used in another set, but to me it doesn't make sense in the other set. But Falling Sword, so like all your damage is like coming from the sky. Because you got like these smites coming down, you got Heaven's Fury coming down.
Falling Sword is one that teleports you in the air, you disappear, and you smash down, right?
Right. And
like
it's using like
style.
Hammer build. Like, it makes no sense in the hammer build. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you had this like whole build revolved around like just like heavenly damage just coming down from the sky, I think that would be dope.
Yeah, oh man, that would be amazing if we got all new sets. But that would be cool. I would love to see ideas for things.
Yeah.
Because you can sit here and just keep naming off all kinds of stuff. But yeah, give me some strafe, man. Let me right click and just demolish. That's all I want.
I'm surprised Demon Hunter is the first place you went.
Strafe is my favorite build. So back before we had T13, when we had Torment 10 was the highest, there was a LON strafe build.
Yeah.
That I used to run, and you could do 1 minute T10 clears. I mean, you could literally just demolish everything on the screen, and it was so fun. It was my favorite build, but when they put in T13s, even with Paragon, the damage is still not high enough to make it viable. Yeah. So that it kind of killed the build.
Yeah, it sucks. But we'll talk about that next week too.
Yeah, we're over, man. Let's get to a couple Twitter questions and we'll call it. So. Varkov asked, how do you feel about cross game rewards such as pets if you buy WoW or wings when you buy Overwatch? Should things only be in D3? Are you okay with cross game rewards?
I think it's a great thing.
I don't have a problem with it. I bought the Overwatch Collector's Edition for the Diablo wings. That's the only reason I bought it.
Why did BFA not get a Diablo reward, dude? Like, what the fluff?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was very disappointed in that.
That was crazy. Even some stupid pet.
I'm okay with it, though. I could see if you don't play the game. Like, I like Overwatch, and I played Overwatch, but I upgraded to the Collector's Edition for the wings. That's the only reason I gave them an extra $10 or $20. I could care less about the Overwatch skins. I didn't buy the Collector's Legion, although I really liked the transmog stuff in Diablo.
Yeah.
I really wanted it, but I didn't do it. So, I don't know. I like it.
You didn't upgrade to the digital of Legion. Okay.
Yeah, I got Legion, but I didn't pay the extra $10 or $20 for the stuff.
Gotcha.
Socially Awkward says.
Okay, good.
If you were on death row, what would your last meal be?
So, St. Louis has this saltine cracker crust pizza.
Oh, Emo's man, it's pizza. So good, dude.
That would be the last thing I would want. But what I would say is Shakespeare's pizza. It's between us. It's between St. Louis and Kansas City in Columbia, Missouri. Shakespeare's pizza.
Yep.
That's it. That's the one.
Yeah. Shakespeare's pizza. Okay. I'm a hamburger fan, dude. Give me a burger and fries. Bacon cheeseburger and fries. I'll make it easy. It's got to be fresh, though. Got to be fresh.
What's like, if you had to go to a chain, where would you go?
Um, Five Guys.
Five Guys.
Five Guys is pretty good.
I like Smash.
People talk
if I had to
about
pick one.
Yeah, I don't think I've had Smash though.
No Smash Burger in St. Louis.
I don't think I've
They're
ever had.
always
No, there's no Smash.
10 years behind the technology.
If there are, I don't know where they're at. They're not by me.
Right on.
So, Junkrat TV says, if you had to pick a song that played every time you walked into a room for the rest of your life, what song would you pick?
It's Raining Men.
It's Raining Men.
It's Raining
Oh
Men.
man, I got to see the questions and I honestly didn't think this one through.
I had that one ready to go.
Did you? Man,
I didn't
you're on
even
it.
see it. I just already know that's my default response.
That's your default. I don't know. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle theme song.
God damn.
From the 80s. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you walk in, there's that intro, like when they blast the sewer lid off.
Yep.
You know.
Damn.
Done.
Old school.
Yep.
Man, you're old.
Amore says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how intolerable is it when people show you baby pictures? Their baby pictures.
Like, I always feel like people are gonna hate on me.
I'm going full 10. I'm going full 10. I hate it.
I hate kids, period. And so, like, people show me their baby photos. I'm just like, cool, man.
Yeah.
That's so not the life I want.
Like, I get it. I'm a dad, so your kids are the most important thing to you.
Sure.
But other people's kids don't matter. And so when you're showing me your kids' baby pictures, I'm always like, oh, that's so cute. But in my head, I'm thinking, how many more do you have? Am I, we out here?
Me and one of my good
It's a 10.
buddies, we used to joke, like, so we would bring fake baby photos and like hang them next to our computer, because like if people show up late or people call in, if it's a kid related, it's like,
it's okay,
get out of jail free card. But for those of us that like don't want kids, don't like kids, and we're like, yeah, I'm gonna be a little late, everyone's like, oh, why are you gonna be late? Oh my god, like that, you're so irresponsible.
Right.
Like we always joke about.
So did you actually lie and say that you had kids at previous employers?
No, we would like joke and say like we adopted like an Asian baby, and we just have like photos.
That would have been a good lie to run with.
Yeah.
Man. That would have been hard. They're like, so do you want to put your kid on your insurance?
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
Yeah, until like your boss is like, hey, we should have a play date. Like, shit, I gotta find a kid.
Right, hey, can I borrow your baby? And then they're calling you by your name instead of dad.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, the last question. These are all goofy questions. I kind of skipped the Diablo ones because we talked about it the whole time. But Timmy Tim says, be honest. Have you ever sang a Taylor Swift song in the shower?
Not like cued by anything? It's just like just in your head?
I don't know. Let's just say, have you ever sang along to a Taylor Swift song?
I get a lot like, what's the other chick? Miley and Taylor Swift, like song requests, like from trolls. And sometimes I'll just like, I'll sing along, I'll play along.
Sing along?
But I don't know that I've ever, outside of the stream.
Confirmed you have Taylor Swift in your playlist. Got it. Yeah, man, of course. Like, so what was the song that she did? Oh man, Shake It. Was it called Shake It? Yeah, it's called Shake It. I could sing it right now. Just the chorus part.
And that's what you sing in the shower?
No, man, not in the shower. But yeah, I've sung that song before, for sure.
What a mental picture.
So that's it, man. That's all we got. That's all the questions we had.
Good.
So
we don't have time for more.
Good route. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week for episode 11. My name is ThaPChild. If you want to find more of me, you can catch me at twitch.tv/ThaPChild, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. Everywhere else is ThaPChild.
Nice. And I am Lord_Fluffy on Twitch. Double those underscores on the Twitter. We'll see you guys next week. I'll probably stream right after this. But until then,
see you.
Peace out, dudes.